why is digital media important? So digital media is growing by leaps and bounds. We're in a day where we're in a day and age where people, their number one thing, you can think about this even for yourself. The first thing that you do when you want to buy something, when you want to make a purchasing decision, you're online. What's happening now is so many people are online and connected. That's their go-to platform to do their research. It's no more, the statistics is about 70% of people actually know and have gone through what's called the buyer's journey before they even make the initial contact to a sales department. So people are very self-educated, and the power of the internet and the ability of a phone like this to give you access to information anywhere you are, whether you're looking for a local restaurant, you just pull it up on Google Maps, best restaurant in North Vancouver. That is very, very powerful. What even makes it more amazing is that you no longer are a local business. So if you're in, obviously, this office, you're able to connect with people in Europe, in Asia, anywhere in the world. So your client base now is no more than a Mod Shaw pop operation on the corner store, only getting people that are walking by. You're able to connect with people 24 hours a day in all parts of the world. So what happens next is that buyers, the way the habits of the people are searching online has changed. Like I said, you need to now have more information on your site. You have to have more information to your in your funnel to be able to provide that quick access information. People are looking for quick information, and they want it now, and they want it as much as possible. Unfortunately, some companies obviously are not adopting the mindset or seeing the value in having a strong online presence. And a strong online presence goes beyond a website. Website obviously is the core, is the hub. It's like your business, but digital is very, very encompassing of many, many different aspects, from social media to email marketing, video marketing, to webinars. There's many, many different places and many, many different touch points that you can make contact with someone. And because of that, you have to be very adamant and very strong in your online presence, because it's no more about just, oh, my website's okay, it's got a contact form and about us page, that's good enough. If you're not active on social media, if you're not giving free content, if you're not getting people to sign up for your email newsletter, if you're not sending out monthly newsletters, if you're not sending out, if you're not getting people to come sign up for your free webinar, if you're not doing a multitude of information, a multitude of tasks, people will soon forget about you, and they'll soon move on to your competitors. And the thing to remember is that obviously each business has something to sell, whether it's a physical product or a service. Your end goal is to sell something. And to sell something, you have to make yourself a lot stronger online. So the tactics that I want to show you today, if you implement them, I'm going to concentrate on 7. There's obviously a million things you can do with digital and online. I'm going to focus on 7 today. If you can adopt these principles online, then you'll definitely start seeing, not months down the road, but instantaneous growth and what I like to call connection with your audience. Because at the end of the day, your customers are your audience. They're looking at you, okay, as the expert to be able to help them solve a problem. So let's jump right into that. This tactic number 1 is one of the most important places to start off, okay? And that is to show your authority. Showing your authority. Let's see. No one will buy from you until 3 things happen. They know you, they like you, and they trust you. So this is where the authority comes into play. If you're in an industry, doesn't matter what it is, there's probably competitors that are doing similar what you're doing. Plumbers, there's dozens of plumbers, electrician, whatever the industry is. What makes you unique though? If I'm doing research online and I'm going to a website, what is it that makes you special, that makes you unique? Being an authority is more than just standing up and saying, hey, I know what I'm talking about. It's about showing it, walking the walk, okay? People listen to authority, and this is what's going to be the differentiating factor between you and your competitors. You have to find a way to say, I am the go-to expert in this area, okay? What happens is, Offline, okay, here's the difference between offline and online. Offline, you're competing for what's called space, billboard space, television space, radio space, newspaper space, okay? Where can I fit into this medium? Online, you're competing with attention. There's so much, there's billions of pieces of content that go live a day. To break through that, you have to find a way to stand up above the crowd. You have to yell louder. You have to stand up taller. Because that's the only way people are going to know about you. Because so many people are trying to make noise to say, hey, look at me, that if you're not louder and prouder and more authoritative, okay, then you're just going to blend in. And that's one of the next points. You want to be always top of mind with your audience. So what does that mean? It means that whenever somebody wants to purchase something from you, they want to always, by you sending out pieces of content, I'll always go back to content marketing because the content marketing is the theme of this talk today. The content marketing is about communicating and having a constant communication with your audience. To be top of mind, people have to see you more often, okay? And that's what you're trying to do with being an authority. Think of it this way. If you're a consultant or a coach or something like that, are you a coach? No, you're more than a coach. You're Anthony Robbins. You're at the echelon of the epitome. Are you a tech company? Are you doing, tech sales and whatnot, products? No, you're Apple. That's the difference. Step out of the mindset that you're actually selling a product and service. You're more than that. You're establishing a brand, and that brand and that authority is going to differentiate you from your competitors. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's it. For somebody on the other side of the coin, you're good. You sell a great product. You sell an amazing service. But others don't. People that have never seen your brand before are looking at a lineup of competitors on the first page of Google saying who's the best one or whatnot, or on YouTube and saying who's the best one. You have to have that differentiating factor. So what you want to do is you want to actually, by being an authority, you don't want to just say the same things that others are doing. You want to spark emotion. You want to spark controversy. You want to spark attention. Just look at tabloids, why they sell so well, because they say something that goes against the norm. And that's what you want to do. You want to lead the conversation instead of being part of the conversation. Okay? So always adopt this with your messaging, that you want to be always sparking a piece of emotion, because what's going to happen is if you blend in, then nobody's going to remember you. Okay? And like I said, there's so much noise online that you have to find a way to stand out and differentiate yourself. So stop blending in and create an identity for yourself and your company. So just make sure you find that voice that makes you unique. Part number 2 and tactic number 2 is stop interrupting. Okay, so when you make it about your audience first, your audience being your customers and your clients, then they will start listening to you and give you their attention. So people hate being sold to. That's a fact. You walk into any store, the first thing somebody does is, hey, can I help you with something? Do you need anything? What's the first reaction? Usually 99% of people will say, I'm looking, just leave me alone. I'll come to you later. That is usually what happens online as well with the way businesses are unfortunately marketing. They're pushing buy messages, okay? When they post on Facebook, when they post on Twitter, their entire website is buy messages. And they're not giving anything of value. When you make it about your audience, that's when they'll start to listen to you. When it's all about you, what's in it for me? Think of it this way. You're making dinner, you're putting the kids to bed, you get a phone call. Hi, it's John from so-and-so company. You know what? You're calling at a bad time. This person is interrupting you. You're being taken at a time where it's inconvenient, you weren't looking for information or whatnot. So what happens is, right off the bat, your guard is up, okay? And that is why cold calling, for example, is a very hard sell, because it has a low close ratio, because you have to do it so many times to finally get somebody that you catch at a good time, for example. But what happens is that's what's called push marketing. Push marketing, we look at offline marketing channels as we're saying here. TV, radio ads, newspaper, billboard, bus stop ads, and flyers. What do these have in common? They're all about you and not the consumer. Okay? So when you're branding, you think, oh, I need to put an ad in the newspaper. I need to put an ad in the North Shore News. I need to put an ad on the bus stop or the back of the bus. Like if you're a real estate agent, if you look at the North Shore, bus advertising is the pinnacle of type of advertising for real estate agents. But what's happening is that's not providing anything of value because it's all about you. So if it's all about you, you have to ask it from the other side of the coin. The customer is going to say, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Pull marketing is what is inbound content marketing, and that is where you're providing value up front to your clientele and to your audience. Thus you're making it about them and not you, and giving something. And when you give, this is, as you'll see in a little bit here, this is called reciprocity. When you give somebody something, they're more inclined to give you something back. So tactic number 2, stop interrupting and adopt a new method of marketing, which is more about pull marketing, by providing content that you publish on your blog, that you publish on your Facebook channel, that you publish on Twitter, that you give a free webinar to teach people. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what you do. I don't know why you're different than your competitors. Show me something that tells me that you know, and then you can provide me better value in order to make me want to come and buy from you instead of somebody else. So that's what you're doing. You're bringing them towards you instead of pushing them away, because everything today, you're on your phone, you watch the TV, you're walking down the street, it's all marketing, marketing, marketing messages. And people are what's called, banner blindness. They're not seeing that as well. So if you can pull people towards you, you now just flip the entire equation and you got people coming and eating out of your hand, for example. So next tactic, publish free content.
Sorry, just further, I was going to say, just a bit of tension between 1 and 2. You're trying to establish yourself as the authority.
These are...
You don't want to talk about you.
Well, that's right. But what's happening is you want to, by creating yourself as an authority, and I'll lead to this actually right now, and you'll see the connection. And the thing is, remember guys, this is all 7 tactics are connected. All 7 tactics that you're going to see today have to be done in unison. Okay, what I say, and if you see our site, for example, there's something what I call the digital marketing brick wall. Okay, as you know, with a brick wall, there's many bricks that hold up the wall that make it strong and the foundation strong. If any one brick, and each individual brick is a piece of the digital marketing strategy. One is email marketing, one is social media, one is Facebook, one is pay-per-click, one is organic SEO, one is your website, one is call to action. If you're missing any of these pieces, what happens? Your wall weakens, your foundation gets weaker, your digital marketing gets weaker, and all that money that you might be investing into online marketing, your time commitment gets less effective. So this is why when we're going through here right now, you're tying in all of these together. This is not a, I do one and I'm okay, I don't have to do the other one. This is, everything fits together. Publishing free content. Don't ever hold anything back. Share everything with your audience, and most importantly, give it all away for free. Give it all away for free. Now, what does this mean? People think that if you give it all away for free, then you're going to be devaluing what you're actually selling and you're offering. But think of it this way. Most companies, as you can see, are holding back. All they do is put up a website, put up a Facebook ad, and say, "I sell widgets. Come buy from me." Whoop-de-doo. You and everybody else, and I might not be looking for widgets right now. So here's the key. Let's take, for example, the App Store. Everybody has an Apple phone or an Android phone. The big model right now online with apps is the freemium model, where instead of selling an app or a game for 99 cents, they're actually giving it away for free. What that does is it right away breaks down the barrier of entry. Zero. Absolutely zero entry. Anybody can download it for free right now and try the game. What happens is the way they monetize, obviously, as you know, is when people get hooked on it, then they say, oh, if you want more coins or if you want more power, to do something or whatnot, you buy these little extra in-app purchases. So by publishing free content, you have to be aware, and this is another tactic coming up, not everybody that's coming to your site, okay, or that's, remember, it's not just your site though, it's all over the internet, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. Not everybody knows about you or is ready to buy widgets today. By publishing free content, what you're doing is you're throwing out bird seeds. You're throwing out seeds that, and all of these pieces of content that you're throwing out has your brand attached to it. So when you put out a blog post or a guest post on Forbes, it's got your name to it. That name makes you an authority. That post has a link back to your website. People want to learn more. Who is this person that wrote this great post? I'm going to come back to you. This is why publishing free content is so important, because you're giving people information, and online is all about education. Online is the biggest source: Wikipedia, WebMD, Forbes, Huffington Post. People want news. People want to be entertained. They go to YouTube. People want news. They go to Forbes. People want to learn something. Wikipedia. My shoulder hurts. Go to WebMD. It's all about education. So you have to start creating content. You have to start being educators, educating people. Because if you don't, then they're not going to know that you know what you're talking about, which leads back to point number one. Okay? So by publishing free information online, you eliminate that barrier to entry. And like I was saying, reciprocity, once you start giving and giving more and giving more, people are going to start giving you their time and their money. And then your business is going to grow. And your business is going to succeed. So, tell your story. Tactic number 4. So what does this mean exactly? Even though you may offer the same products and services as your competitors, you and your business's voice are unique. So, some feel that it's hard to differentiate yourself from another one of your customers out there. Well, that's true. A lot of people do the same thing that you do. But the way that you made your website, the way that your employees perform daily tasks, the way that you produce your product with care and dedication, the way that you answer the phone, the way that you send your clients an email on their birthday, the way that you do these little things makes you unique. And you're going to use that uniqueness to set yourself apart. And that is what telling the story is about. It's not about, no matter how saturated your business is, you are unique in every way, because you want to use that in your messaging. You want to use that, for example, on your website, have your about page, have your CEO or your founder talk about how the company got started. That's unique. No other company got started that way. You want to be able to have these videos about your employees showing how happy they are working for your company. That's unique, because those employees are yours and not anybody else's. So no matter what you're doing, you're giving people this backstage pass into how your business operates. Once you open the curtain, once you open the door and people start seeing how you do business, right away that sets you apart. That's your differentiating factor. That shows your authority. That shows your human side. People don't want to deal with business. I don't want to go to Best Buy to buy a TV. I want to go talk to Rick, who is such a great salesman because he cares about me. That's why I want to go to Best Buy to buy a TV, because of the human side of things. At the end of the day, we're all human. We have emotions. We want people to care about us. And by making yourself less corporate and more human, that's when you give your audience a chance to come in.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
And what's your opinion on, when you're talking about telling your story, what's your opinion on hiring an actor to do that for your company versus real people?
Absolutely. Great example. A&W. A&W, as you know, with the commercials right now, you see them on TV all the time. We don't use steroids. We don't use hormones. It's all done with this. Obviously, I don't think he cooks the burgers, but he's that person. Right?
Totally.
Exactly. That's a great example. But as you can see, you have if you watch the Ford commercials or the Chevrolet commercials, you have that actor that has all these people, these non-actors that are real people that know they're being filmed, but they're experiencing.
We're actually actors, but yes.
Whatever the case may be, but you have that identity with somebody related to the company. You have that brand ambassador. So it's been proven many times that sort of a mascot figure or a brand sort of figure helps companies succeed more and have better noticeability than just being a complete wall of indistinguishable identity. So if you're a smaller company, yes, of course, you as the CEO, as the founder, you can step up. But if you're obviously a lot bigger, you want to take a bit of a roll back, you can have that representative. But the key is to have them sort of be seen more often, and we'll get into that as well. Exactly. You want to kind of get them in the mindset of the audience a lot more. You want to have many what are called touch points. You want people to see you a lot more. So, publish more often. Exactly what we're just talking about right now. Touch points. Tactic number 5. The more times people see you and your brand, the more likely it is to have a lasting impact. Okay, so obviously, as you know, when New Year's comes around, people are so energetic. They're like, wow, I can't wait to exercise, work out. I'm going to be a better me. And then what happens? 2 weeks later, a month later, come February, you start not going to the gym anymore. You start eating more cake. You know what I mean? Everything gets thrown out.
Sadly, we do.
Unfortunately, people fail because they stop doing the things that they need to do to get where they need to be. And the reason for this boils down to one word: inconsistency and being inconsistent. Relate that to online. Okay? Here, in digital marketing, you need to have, again, as I was just mentioning, touch points. Remember, you're trying to build your business. How do you do that? Get more leads. How do you do that? Get more visitors. How do you do that? Get more traffic. How do you do that? Get in front of more people. People, when they first see you, they don't know anything about you. You're not even going to register in their mind 5 seconds later. That's why you need to be seen over 5 to 7 times your brand for it to stick. Just think of the TELUS commercials. You see them all the time. Usually when you see a TELUS commercial, they're not actually selling anything at that point. But what it is, it's called branding. And what they're doing is they're just sending out a message, a breadcrumb, a bird seed, to say, hey, we're still here. If you need anything, think about us. So what you want to do to stand out in digital and online, you have to break through the noise. There is so much noise out there. If you look at Twitter, people are posting a gargantuous amount on Twitter. And people think, hey, you know what? I just wrote a blog post. I'm going to post a tweet. Hey, we have a sale on, 10% off. Excuse me. And they think that that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I sent out the tweet. I did my job. Doesn't work that way. You have to be malicious. Every 30 minutes, you have to be sending out a tweet. You have to be on Facebook. You have to be getting blog posts. You get about, if you do 4 posts a month compared to around 16, 15 posts a month on your blog, you get about 4.5, 5 times more leads from that. That consistency, okay, with your blog, with your social media, with your putting on a webinar, doing a customer event. Come into our office. We'll show you. It's a customer appreciation event. If you don't do things more often, nobody's going to hear you, because the rest of the world and your competitors are being louder than you. And that's all it is online, is you need to be louder. You need to be heard. Louder, not obviously by sound, louder, but in terms of having those in-your-face moments more often. Because that's the thing about branding. It's not a one-and-done thing. Because somebody, say your demographic is somebody in their 30s, okay, whatever your business is, for example, but they're 25 now. Well, in 5 years, do they not potentially be your customer? Yes. So if they don't see you now and consistently, then in 5 years, they're going to go to somebody else. But because they've been seeing you so often, They keep playing it, and you keep sending out a message. You keep sending out a message. You keep sending out a message. You keep showing your authority. You keep doing guest posts. You keep doing podcasts. You have a YouTube channel. You post consistently every single day, even if it's a 5-minute video. Hey everybody, how are you doing? Bob's Widgets here. Today I want to show you about this. Next day, I want to show you about this. Next day, I'll show you about this. You could be 20 videos down the line and I wouldn't have seen the first 20 videos as a new customer. I come in and I see, boom, video number 20. And you're going through and you're like, wow, I'm doing all these videos and they're not doing anything. 20 videos down, I finally see your video. I have my first touch point with your brand. I learn about you. You're selling widgets. Great. You know what? My cousin needs widgets. Let me tell him. If you didn't do those videos and if you didn't do them consistently, then I would have never seen you. If you stopped at 2 or 3 and said, oh, you know what? This is not working. I'm going to give up. You wouldn't have given me a chance to know about you. And because you did that, because you were consistent, because you're religious in this, you gave your customers an opportunity. And because of that, what you're doing is you're stacking. You're stacking more clients. You're stacking more clients. You're getting more business. Make sense? And like I said, people are going through Facebook and Twitter so fast that, for example, they're doing this, that you have to have your messaging stand out, be unique. Like I said, that goes back. All of this is tied in. Be controversial, be emotional, change your color, do something to stand out and break through from the crowd. Okay, so next, tactic, segment your audience, tactic number 6. Now, this is a very, very, very important one, and one that pretty much not too many companies are doing, unfortunately. Not everyone is ready to open up their wallets the first time they meet you. I know we've been talking a little bit about this. The bigger problem websites have is that they treat every visitor the same way. People make websites. They go to a web designer. They say, hey, make me a website. And the messaging on the website is, I sell widgets, buy from me. That's it. You're treating everybody as though they're ready to come to you and they're ready to buy from you. But unfortunately, as you know, with your own research, you might go to Amazon, you might go to Yelp, you might go here, you might do review, you might check for reviews, you might check for this and that. You're always at a different point, and that's called the buyer's journey. And there's 3 main, you can break it up into maybe 4, but there's 3 main stages of the buyer's journey. Let's go through them. First one is, and when I refer to funnel obviously starts bigger, where you have more people, unqualified, and then as they come down your funnel, they're more qualified to be your buyer, okay? And they're more prone to commit. Awareness stage is where they've just met you. They haven't even met you before, or they've just met you. What you want to do here is you want to focus on the pain points. This is what you want to do, is you want to produce, you want to avoid talking about your products and services, because like I said, they're not looking for you. You might create a blog post, put it up on Huffington Post, for example, and you're just building brand awareness. You're just spreading the birdseeds, because if you're just always talking about buy messages, then you're going to capture less of an audience. Less people. Remember that whole Apple story with the App Store? You're creating a barrier right away. But if you, excuse me, start creating topics about pain points, a blog post, infographic, things like that, then you're able to capture a wider net. You're fishing. You're throwing a big net out there. Okay? Number 2 is engagement in the interest stage. This is more down the funnel. This is more, okay, you know what? I'll just jump back to this one. This is more about, you know what, I might not need a widget now, but now that I just knew about you, I might need a widget in the future. Number 2 is actually, you know what, I'm looking for a widget. Let me see what's out there. Let me Google, let me go check Etsy, eBay, Amazon, Pinterest. Let me see what other people. So what they're doing is they know they have a problem and they need a solution, whatever you're selling, but they haven't really finalized. They're more in the research stage. So they're actually now maybe entertaining 5 to 10 companies. They're looking around, doing research, checking out reviews. So this is really important, where you start, again, showing your authority, saying, oh, now you step up a little bit and say, hey, look at these industry reports, look at these white papers. You start showing your authority a little bit. You're showing your authority here with the blog posts and infographics, for sure. But now you're being more finite. Consideration in the conversion stage, this is where actually most websites are. And their messaging, where it's about, we sell widgets, come buy widgets from us. But like I said, most people, and I'll actually get to this down here, get brand specific very quickly about your products and service with case studies and testimonials. People want to know more about you. They're down to 1 or 2 people, 1 or 2 companies, as your consultant, as your small business, whatever, which restaurant to go to. I'm now narrowing it down. I know I have a problem. I need a solution. Who am I going to go to? When you start providing testimonials, you start showing social proof. People love social proof. They want to know that if other people had a solution to the problem and were helped out, then I will get the same thing. Same thing with case studies. How did you solve a problem for people? Okay? And this is where they finally make the decision, and this is where you offer free demos. If you're like a software company, like a SaaS company, you can offer a free SaaS, a demo, 14-day free trial. Or you get a demo with a salesperson, like, again, going back to free. See how this is all tied in together. Offering free to get people through the door. Number one reason businesses fail is because they lack awareness in the marketplace. Because if they didn't, they would be like Apple, where people would just buy and wait a week in line to buy a new iPhone when it comes out. If your business is struggling, if you want to grow your revenue, if you want to increase your sales, whatnot, you need to realize that it's because of awareness. Because if people knew about you, then they would flock to you in droves. But what happens is we need to work on the awareness, and that's why instead of focusing here where most companies do, you need to start focusing here. That's why I was saying with the blog posts, posting once a week compared to almost once every 48 hours, increases your lead generation by 5 times. It's massive. It's night and day difference. So that frequency, that publishing more, will help you get more touch points, get in front of people more. And that's all it is. And awareness is the first stage, yet almost all businesses obviously focus on applying the third stage of the buyer's journey to all their visitors. So there has to be a shift, a little bit of a shift, and you'll start noticing more of an improvement. Here's tactic number 7, be everywhere. Be everywhere. What does that mean? Spread your wings and push your message to all corners of the internet for the entire world to see. We're all different. We all do different things on the internet. From I want to go see a funny cat video, I'm going to go to YouTube, or I want to see what's happening in world politics in the U.S. I'm going to go to Huffington Post. I need to buy something for my wife. I'm going to go to Pinterest, see what's happening there. People have different habits, and they're on different parts of the internet for entertainment, for education, for purchases. So you, with your messaging, have to understand that you need to not just have a website and be on Twitter, call it a day, or just Facebook and that's it, call it a day. Because you're going to be missing all those people on YouTube. You're going to be missing all those people on Snapchat. You're going to be missing all those people on Medium. You're going to be missing all those people on Quora. For example, Quora, a great place to show your authority. Quora is pretty much the new Yahoo Answers. Obviously, as you know, back in the day, Yahoo Answers was a place to go. You ask a question, somebody answers it. Quora is the definitive place. If you want to start out, if I can give you any point, go to Quora, whatever your niche is, if you're in whatever business you're in, there must be somebody that has a pain point. Because obviously, if you're in a business that solves a problem, somebody's obviously has that problem somewhere in the world. If you can go into Quora and find a couple questions, and then answer them, offer free information, maybe a link back to a post related to on your blog that you wrote that's related to that problem, all of a sudden you're starting to plant seeds that you're an authority because you're now helping somebody and then other people down the road. And think about it this way. You answer a question on Quora today, does that disappear? No. A year from now, somebody brand new that's looking for, I'm going to say widgets again, will now see that you answered it. Oh, hey, great. Let me check out their website. Maybe I should buy from them. Let me find out more about them. Let me check out their social media. Let me check out what they're doing online. Oh, hey, you know what? They've been featured on this website. Well, they sound like a pretty good authority. They're more trustworthy. And when you break down the wall, the barrier, people will naturally gravitate towards you because they're comfortable with you, as I was mentioning. Once they like you, they know about you, and they trust you, that's how you acquire more business. That's how you acquire more customers. And with everything that we're doing, we're getting people to know you. With everything we're doing, we're getting people to like you. With everything that we're doing with these 7 tactics, we're getting people to trust you. And that's your secret formula. So if you understand that people are in different locations, then that should open up your eyes to get your brand in front of them no matter where they are. You wrote a blog post. That's fantastic. Why should you waste that blog post just sitting on your blog? Submit it to Medium. Go to Growth Hackers. Go to inbound.org if you're in digital marketing space, for example. Find forums to go to post that content. If you're a massage therapist, for example, there's massage therapy forums. If you're a chiropractor, there's chiropractic forums. Go to there. Post that content there. Hey, you know what? I know you have this tennis elbow. My name's John. I'm a chiropractor. You know what? Try this. Put 15 minutes of ice, 5 minutes of heat. Alternate twice. Oh, by the way, if you have this problem in the future again, here's a more detailed post I wrote on my website. Here's a link to it. Are you selling anything? No. Are people more inclined to trust you and press through to that link to go to your website? Yes, because you're offering something of value. You're helping them solve a problem. And because of that, you're now their friend. Where before, if you didn't do that, and you just put a Facebook ad, say, hey, I'm a chiropractor, come see me. Well, great, what did you do for me today? Like, eventually, yeah, okay, I need chiropractic service, but why from you and not from the guy next door? You know what I mean? And it's all these little things done in unison, done together, that allow you to just massively expand your reach online. Because you have to understand, if you're not everywhere online, and if you're not treating online seriously, you're missing out on a whole whack of possibility and clientele. You're able to attract more of the audience. And remember, the number one reason nobody knows about you is lack of awareness. And if you're saying, why is my business not succeeding? Nobody knows about you. And that's the key with all of this. You're trying to build that awareness. And don't think that if I do a blog post, it's a waste of time. Because 5 years from now, that blog post will still be there, and somebody will see it, and somebody will come to you. And that's all you're doing, is you're creating these breadcrumbs, these permanent breadcrumbs. Every time you send out a message, like I said, your brand is attached to it. You're always just putting out bird seeds so people come back to you. And when you you don't want to waste your messaging too. You don't want to just, I created a blog post, I'm happy, I'm done. No, you're not. You got to get it in front of as many people as possible. You're the Super Bowl right now. You got to have hundreds of millions of people around the world knowing about you and wanting, every time you do something online, it's the big game. Try to get it out. You have to go big because the opportunities are so massive. You're not a grocery store on the corner of Marine Drive and you're only catching people walking by you. You have an international audience at your disposal. The internet is the most powerful thing to ever happen. If you think you're a local business, well, think about franchising. Well, that means you might want to go into Connecticut and the States. How are people going to know about you? You need to use the internet to your advantage. So